Vicki here. So today I want to talk about something that I think happened in my garden this year, which is a problem that can impact cucumbers, but also other plants in that same family, and that is cucumber wilt. So it's kind of a disease that will destroy the plant. There's really not much you can do, and it is kind of contagious, so it will spread from plant to plant. So I'm going to take you through kind of a little brief look at what the evolution of this looked like in my garden. Let's rewind back to the end of May to see how they were looking. This is the cucumbers, and they're actually doing really super great. I need to get my act together and put up something for them to climb on because they are flowering. Whoa, if I don't fall over. They are flowering. So it won't be long before we have little cucumbers. So I need to work on that. And the two that I transplanted that came up way after and were shaded out by this guy, but they still lived, I put them in this container and they're doing super great. So yay. So as you can see, May 27th, the cucumbers were looking really good. I'm pleased with how they were growing. Let's take a look and see how they were looking just the next week, June 3rd. This is the cucumbers and the winter squash, and I'm very happy with how they're growing. I do still need to get them something to climb on. It's something that has to be done this week, so I will. We're still doing really well at the beginning of June. Now, around the middle of June, I did do a fertilization for all of the beds in the whole garden. And I was a little heavy-handed with this. So it was perhaps contributing to a lot of plant death that I had in the subsequent weeks. So on June 21st, I did a little garden update, and I had already noticed at that time that I was seeing suffering in the garden. I'll take you back to that moment so you can take a look. And up at the top, I lost 2 cucumbers. June 21st, 2 of those, ooh, there's a butterfly. 2 of those cucumbers had already died, and really there was nothing that I could do. At the time, I attributed it to the fertilization that I had done that killed other plants in the garden, as well as some extreme heat that we had. What we're seeing now is an image from June 23rd, so just 2 days later, that clearly shows that 2 more of the cucumbers had died. There's 2 more that look kind of wilting, and still I hadn't really caught on that there was an issue. But it was really the 3 days later on June 24th that I discovered that we had a real problem. And I thought that it was something in the soil. You know, I had attributed it to the fertilization, which could be a soil issue, but I thought that it was definitely something more than that at that point. So let me take you to where I kind of discovered or realized that we had a bigger problem going on, so you can see how I handled it. So I'm growing concerned that I've got a disease on my cucumbers. I think it might be a cucumber wilt. So I'm taking some immediate action today. I am going to pull this one that is dead, or dying, this one that is dead, and those, and I'm going to look very closely at this and pull all the leaves that do not look healthy off. And I'm also going to inspect for insects because that is what carries the disease. So yeah, let's do that. All right, so I've got my bag of dead stuff, but I pulled off the bottom leaves of this, and if this plant does have the cucumber wilt, it will continue to die. There is no saving it. But anywho, I pulled out a dead plant from in the middle, 2 from right here that were totally wilted and just brown already. 2 from right here and 2 from the end. One, got a little stem left here. One of these was very obviously rotten and it pulled out incredibly easy. The other one was not quite as obvious. But when I sort of started moving the leaves away, it really looked in bad shape. Also, there's a spider friend. Don't know if you can see him. He's right there. Oh, can we see him better now? There he is. Anywho, these plants can be replaced. It is June in South Carolina. It is hot. We have lots of hot left. So I'm not overly concerned. I am disappointed. I also feel like I took a long time to catch on. It's been all week that these cucumbers have been mysteriously dying. It started with the 2 in this pot, and I thought it was due to the over-fertilization issue that I've had with some of the smaller plants. But looking back, like, that just didn't make sense because the plants that had died from the fertilization were small, and so I almost just applied too much for their root size. But the plants that were in this white planter were really well established. They were some of the best looking out of all of the cucumbers that I had. And after the fertilization, all of these cucumbers that up and died this week did start improving. So, yep, attributed it to the wrong thing there. And, yeah, could have just maybe lost those 2. But instead we've lost quite a bit more than that. So, lesson learned. We'll keep on keeping on, and hopefully that gets better. I'm very concerned about this plant. It was looking rough yesterday, but it has perked up. I gave it a lot of extra water. It was 97 yesterday, so I think maybe it was just hot, but we'll see. And this all brings us to today. So today is July 4th. So happy 4th of July, everybody. And you can see the remaining 2 plants. It is a little hard because this squash has really grown. But there is one surviving cucumber there and another one here. They are blooming. They've each produced 1 cucumber for me since June 24th. Which I think is pretty good. That's 10 days. And I do have at least 1 more that I'm fairly certain was fertilized. This one I hand pollinated today. So honestly, I think I'm pretty pleased with how these things are going. So that kind of brings you full circle on how I was able to save these 2. And they are continuing to do really well for me. If anyone has experienced this same issue, please let me know. If you think it was something else, do let me know. This is what my internet sleuthing has led me to believe. But, if there's any other suggestions that y'all have, please leave them in the comments. Until next time, bye.